Yo, what's up, everybody? What is up, chat? What is up? What is up? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Snailium, what's up? Kazuki, how you doing? King of Heroes. Michael, hold block, bro. How are you guys all doing? Shadow, what's up? What's up? Great timing. Another stream I was watching just ended. That's sick. Ty, what's up, bro? Audio's good. Thank you. Just watched. Yeah. Yeah, I watched that one too. Um, Funny how you're doing the stream the same day. Well, I'll say I watched the video as well. I'll say that. Hope you're doing good, dude. I am doing good. Another I want to sneak this Yuta video. Yo, what's up, Anno? How are you guys all doing? How are you guys all doing? And yo, what's up, Dark? How you doing, bro? Ryu versus Kashimo. That's an interesting one too. But yeah, today we're doing Hakari versus Ryu. I can only do this debate for like 2 hours at most today. I got other stuff I have to finish tonight. So I'll get to the debate portion really fast. Well, like faster than normal. Like I won't yap as long as I usually do. Yeah, if you guys want to join in the debate, like 2 different ways of doing it. You could go to this poll I just posted, and then you click on the comments, and then the pinned comment will let you like join this debate here that we're doing right now. And I'll probably also like post the debate link in the chat in a moment here. So either one of those ways is how you can do it. But yeah, let's get into talking about this, right? 2 hours. Yeah, this time I really do have to keep it at like 2 hours. So otherwise, like, yeah, I just have to. I actually do. But let's talk about this, right? So I was seeing people say that Ryu would beat Hakari. I was seeing some takes like Hakari has no chance against Ryu. Like, I'm just listing off some takes I've heard. All right, let me just say some takes I heard. Okay, I heard Hakari has no chance against Ryu. I also heard like Hakari has no win conditions against Ryu. And he can't damage Ryu. Like he doesn't have the AP to damage Ryu, okay? So, let's actually analyze that for a second, okay? So, here I was saying I wasn't gonna yap too much. I'm probably gonna yap too much before I start this. Let me just say this, bro. You guys know that there's a statement from Yuta himself where he says that Hakari's stronger than him. You guys know that statement exists, right? Here's something that I find very interesting, okay? What I find interesting is how people, they don't accept that statement. That statement has to be wrong, right? Like, when you see that statement, it's like, no, I do not believe that. Like, other feats in the series say otherwise. I have to look at the other feats, and the feats prove that statement wrong, okay? That's like what people typically say. But there's another statement that the same people are just magically okay with. That line of... Okay, so let me word it like this, right? Does anyone in the chat know the exact chapter number where Yuta says Hakari's stronger than he is? We can pull that up and look at it. My guess is it's like 142, around there. It's like right at the start of the Culling games. We're going to pull this up and look at this. Anyone know the exact chapter number? Anyone? It's after this. I think it's like 146, 145-ish. Hold on. Let me look here. Oh yeah, it's around here. Let's look. It's where does he say Hakari's stronger than he is? Is it 147? Yo, is my chat frozen? Hold on. I don't know if my chat's frozen. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. It's this next one. Let's just look at this. And then I'm going to get into like some arguments here. I just want to point something out. Oh, it's right here. Oh, we got it on screen. Okay, we found it. It's chapter 146. I found it. So here Yuta himself says, but when Hakari gets worked up, he's stronger than I am. So clearly he's talking about Jackpot Hakari, right? Now, here's something that I find, I want to like really talk about this. This is something I find fascinating. There will be people who they read this panel and they say, no, that can't be right. The feats in the series prove that this is wrong. There's other, like if you analyze other statements, other things in the series, this statement is clearly wrong. You have to look at all the feats, right? You have to follow a power scaling method, right? Like if you want to use a statement, you have to have a strict power scaling method. You need to look at all the feats around it. And if the feats around it say that the statement's wrong, then you trust the feats. So by that power scaling method, Yuta is like this statement's not right. Hakari's not stronger than Yuta when he's worked up, okay? That's like the argument people will use. Now, here's what I find like really interesting. Those exact same people, when they read the statement of Gojo saying Sukuna's stronger, they suddenly don't want to use that power scaling method anymore. Isn't that kind of interesting? All of a sudden, that same power scaling method of, oh, we got to analyze all the feats, and then if the feats say otherwise, then the statement's wrong. All of a sudden, that magically doesn't apply. Isn't that kind of interesting, chat? Wow, maybe a wild idea here. Maybe we're actually, no, this couldn't be, it couldn't just be that maybe we're just kind of, highballing the characters we like and lowballing the characters we dislike, right? There's no chance of that, right? No, there's no chance of that. My fault. So what I find interesting, though, is just how there's not a consistency there. Like, if we're going to analyze everything, we should analyze everything for all the statements, in my opinion. But this is something Yuta himself says. So there's something to consider here. Okay? Like, let's for a moment say that Yuta's actually accurate. There's a lot of different interpretations you can get from this, right? So here's a few. One way to look at this, like the lowest lowball interpretation you could possibly say, is that Yuta's just referring to himself, not using his curse techniques. I'm not sure why he would possibly say that. That doesn't make much sense. But this is the lowest you could lowball Hakari based off of this statement. You could say that Hakari, when he's in Jackpot, he's stronger than base form Yuta with his sword and no curse techniques. He's just stronger than that Yuta. Okay? The highest you can highball this, no, this is actually a medium ball. A medium ball interpretation is that this is referring to Yuta with his sword and Rika and all of his copy curse techniques all together. So like Yuta and Rika working together while Yuta has his sword and he's using all of his copy techniques and he has unlimited cursed energy, all of that stuff together. Still weaker than Hakari. Still weaker than Hakari. Now, the highest highball interpretation is something that people don't really talk about that much, and I'll talk about it right now. It's the concept that he's basing this off of the last time he saw Hakari. We don't know how long ago that was. Okay, it could have been a year ago. It could have been a full year ago, right? Like before Yuta went to Africa, for all we know. And at that point in time, Yuta saw how strong Hakari was. And he has the memory of that strength. And Yuta, even now, still believes he's weaker than that. So Yuta, with like a year plus training, he's like, nah, I'm still below Hakari a year ago. And then Hakari's even stronger now. That's the highest highball you can give. Okay? So, now here's what I want to start talking about. If we use this statement and take this statement literally, then I'm going to be honest with you, Hakari is like decimating Ryu. Like mid-diffing him at best. Okay, and we're gonna look at some feats here that prove that. I'm gonna look at some feats here that prove that real quick, chat. So here's something that I want to point out Have you guys noticed that the entire time Yuta fights Ryu, he doesn't use his sword? This isn't even full power Yuta. He's not using his sword once this whole fight. This is like a nerfed Yuta, who had already used RCT multiple times, who had already taken damage before the fight started. This is like a low output nerfed Yuta without his sword. Okay, Yuta's not using his sword. He's already damaged before the fight starts. And when you're damaged, your output is lowered. Okay, and Yuta had already used reverse curse technique. And it stated that reverse curse technique burns through a lot of energy. So this is a nerfed Yuta against a full power Ryu. I think like they word for word say it in this fight as well, I think. Let me see, hold on. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Ryu says it right here. He said his reverse curse technique is a problem, but it consumes a lot of cursed energy. It's also implied that Ryu doesn't have reverse curse technique either, which is why it's a problem. Because if he also had it, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But anyways, what was I just saying? Let me explain like the Hakari mid diffs Ryu argument for you guys right now. So, oh yeah, that's why I had that. So we see throughout the series that reverse curse technique, if you use it and your name's not Gojo or Sukuna, you're pretty much nerfed immediately after. Like, reverse curse technique uses a lot of energy, and taking damage lowers output. At the start of this fight, Yuta had done both. He had like taken a good amount of damage fighting Kuro, and then he's immediately hit by a granite blast right away afterwards, and he's hit by thin icebreaker, which debatably might negate durability altogether. Okay, so this is a low output Yuta who's fighting Ryu in the beginning. Like right at the start, he's low output. This is like Ryu never fights a full power Yuta. He never does. So his overall stats are not at full power, and Yuta does not have his sword during this entire fight. He never once uses his sword against Ryu. So this is a nerfed Yuta boxing against Ryu. And let's start looking at like some of the feats here, okay? So first off, let me see, which one should we look at first? I guess we can just head over towards like near the end of the fight. Here's something. Give me 1 second. I'm looking for the scene where Rico like punches him in the head. Where is it? Okay, yeah, this scene here. Right, so here's an argument, right? Remember what I was saying? Like even if you're using the medium ball interpretations of the Yuta statement, Hakari would scale above. Like if you use the medium ball interpretation of the Yuta statement, then that would mean that Hakari would scale above Yuta and Rika and Yuta using his sword all together. Jackpot Hakari would be stronger than all of that. And what do we see here? We see Rika with one punch is like crumbling this guy. Like he takes big damage from one punch from Rika. In fact, if you look, every time Rika like lands an attack on Ryu takes like serious damage from it. Like every time. It's not just this one time, it's every time. And Jackpot Hakari, using the medium ball interpretation of that statement, would be even stronger than this. Every time if Jackpot Hakari's hitting Ryu, he's doing more damage than this. Mind you, this is a nerfed Yuta not using his sword either. And then at the start of the fight, Yuta was lowered output anyway from the damage he had taken and from using RCT. Ryu's kind of getting pummeled by a nerfed Yuta. And every time like Rika hits him, he's getting like genuinely damaged. And then Jackpot Hakari would scale even higher than this. So he's doing more damage than this when Hakari's hitting him. Meanwhile, every time Ryu hits him, he's just regenning from it instantly. Not to mention, we see Yuta just tank a granite blast point blank and it doesn't really do much to him. Well, no, sorry, it wasn't point blank. It was from a distance. So it's implied that like Granite Blast is likely weaker from a distance than it is close up, just like how Gojo's projectile attacks work. So, but yeah, so like if Rika's able to do this to Ryu and then Jackpot Hakari scales even higher, he's doing worse than this to Ryu. Ryu's just gonna get pummeled. He's getting slammed. Okay. What else is there? Now that's just like Hakari in Culling games. Shinjuku Hakari would be even stronger than this. Shinjuku Hakari would be even stronger than this. Like some of the takes I was seeing is I was seeing people say that like, oh, base form Hakari's not that strong because like he was like relative to Kashimo, which is I'm not gonna say like my opinion on that argument. But basically what people weren't factoring in is that like Hakari gets drastically stronger by Shinjuku. They all train for a month straight, and it's stated that their cursed energy reinforcement improves dramatically. That's strength and durability and speed as well. I'm making I honestly have a video that I was supposed to have posted a while ago where I go in detail explaining that. It'll be posted tomorrow, but yeah, like all of Hakari's stats are dramatically improved over the course of a month. Okay, he might have actually done switch training with Gojo because they said that you can do switch training with 2 people. So one of Gojo's switch training partners was Yuta. The other likely was Hakari because it would just make sense that he was doing that training with the 2 strongest people there. Also, the other thing that backs it up is like Hakari says that like Gojo still views Yuta and Hakari as relative even after the month of training. So like Hakari has to have done the training. Okay, so here's like a highball interpretation. You could honestly make the argument that Shinjuku Hakari in base is already relative to the Jackpot Hakari in the Culling games. And then Jackpot is like another big buff on top of that. So like you could make an argument that Shinjuku Hakari is like the stuff Rika's doing right here. Shinjuku Hakari might be doing this in base. And then he goes Jackpot and he's just like actually folding like Ryu in half. Okay? So yeah, Hakari is bodying Ryu. All right. Now, and here's another concept that isn't really spoken about in JJK. Just because you can beat somebody doesn't automatically mean you're stronger than them. There's actual type disadvantages in JJK. There's type disadvantages, right? Like for example, Hakari might actually struggle with Kuroshi. That might be a bad type matchup for someone like Hakari who doesn't have any long range attacks and doesn't have RCT output. Kuroshi might be a bad type matchup for him. But that does but Yuta can like kill Kuroshi, right? And Hakari's stated to be stronger than Yuta. So like even though Hakari's stronger than Kuro, he might struggle with Kuro due to a type matchup. Like Kuro's just really strong against like close range fighters. Who don't have any like durability negation attacks. This is something like no one really talks about in JJK, but like type matchups are a thing. People have like sort of just started talking about it now that there's the Deborah, Gojo, Sukuna type matchup thing. They've sort of just started talking about it now, but like, yeah. An argument people use a lot of the time, they just say like, if you can beat someone, you're stronger. It's not really true, honestly. But yeah, that's my stance on it. Hakari bodies Ryu. That's my stance on it. So I'm willing to open this up to debate now. So let's do this. Here. Oh yeah. Let me post the debate link. Give me 1 second. So yeah, if anyone wants to join in the debate, that's where we're having it. So feel free to do that if you'd like to. And I'm about to hop in there. And let's see what time it is. Yeah, I'll have the debate for like about an hour. That's my plan right now. We'll see. Give me 1 second. I'm just opening up the stream on my other computer so I can like see. Oh, and people were telling me like I gotta keep my phone at a distance. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Opening up the chat on my other computer so I can see the chats as we're doing this. Okay, there we go. And let's start this. Okay, where is the debate chat? All right, yeah, I'm hopping in debate voice chat 1. All right, so if anyone wants to join in, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yo, how you guys doing?
What's up, Los?
How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Who would like to go first?
Me and No Wrist are literally on the same exact wavelength right now, so he can go first, and I'll just add in, I'll go next or something like that.
Okay.
So I would say that the number one thing that needs to be discussed when we're doing any of like the Hakari battles is how does Hakari put down Ryu in this scenario? Because I didn't catch the full beginning of the stream, but I saw you were trying to scale Hakari to like Rika and Yuta physically in terms of their ability to damage Ryu. And I just don't think that kind of stacks up. Because Ryu is a character that is, like, supremely durable. This guy, even domain boosted Yuta at the end of the series, doesn't quite stack up. Sukuna says he's not quite as durable as Ryu. And Ryu also doesn't really take much damage throughout the course of the fight, with 2 exceptions. His own Granite Blast and Rika, not Yuta, hitting him with a punch. Where we know Rika is a lot stronger, at least physically, than Yuta is. Because she's able to hold Yuji in place, she's able to hold Sukuna in place, but even when partially manifested, and Yuta pretty clearly isn't capable of doing that same thing. He's not as physically strong as she is. And then I would also say there that, like, Hakari scaling to Yuta, because a lot of your arguments are based off of Hakari scaling to or above Yuta. We can talk about the interpretation of that statement, but that doesn't mean holistically Hakari scales above Yuta. Because what that really reeks of to me, like knowing Hakari's whole kit, is Yuta isn't strong enough, like at that point, to, like he might not be strong enough to put down Hakari. But even that is kind of like in doubt, because we see a lot of stuff later in the series that Yuta probably would be able to put down Hakari, and without too much difficulty. So, and Maki immediately calls the statement into question. So I would even say that that's kind of a little bit iffy. And I think that a bit more discussion needs to be had about that statement if we're trying to use it to generalize Hakari above Yuta in all these sort of ways.
No, that makes sense. Those are good points. So, like, my stance on it overall is that, like, there's a lot of points to address there. Like, essentially, the first thing you're saying is you don't think Hakari scales to Rika, right?
I do not.
Okay, so, like, there's a few different things to say here. Like, first off, like, yeah, you said that Hakari doesn't scale to Rika, and then you also said you don't think Yuta scales to Rika either, right?
In terms of just their raw physical strength, I do not believe so.
Okay, so yeah, two big things to talk about here. First off, the Yuta who fights Ryu is never at full power. He's nerfed. So, like, he had already taken damage from fighting Kuro, and then he uses RCT, and he's not like Gojo or Sukuna, so using RCT makes him weaker. Like, it takes a large amount of energy. And then we've also had debates on it, like how we saw with Yuki and even Kenjaku. Using RCT, like, exhausted Kenjaku. Just one time using it made him really tired. So, like, Yuta, he's nerfed before the fight even starts. He gets hit by Thin Icebreaker, which is debatably a durability negation attack to a certain degree. Like, he's not at full power when he first starts fighting Ryu and overall stats. Then, but he's still able to reflect Granite Blast, right? So, like, the Yuta you're comparing to Rika is like a nerfed Yuta. And even
I think any version of Yuta realistically, but yeah.
And then even Ryu's not sure if Rika's stronger than this nerfed Yuta. Even Ryu is not sure. He's like, it might be more durable than Yuta. It says maybe, like it shows that they're close, and he's not even sure. Meanwhile, this is a fully manifested Rika, and this is a nerfed Yuta. Then on top of that, Yuta is not using his sword the entire fight. He's not even, he's like, so this is a like considerably nerfed Yuta doing all of these things. That's being compared to this Rika. That's one thing. Now, the next thing is, just talking about the statement in general. Like, we can have full debates over whether or not it's accurate. There's different, like, arguments that can be made. Like, when Yuta's saying that Hakari's stronger than he is in Jackpot, there's a lot of debate that can be had over that. But my stance is this. Like, you can create a low, medium, and high ball scale based off of that statement. Different ways of interpreting it, right? Like, and I went over it earlier, but, maybe the lowest low ball interpretation could be what you were saying. That Yuta just thinks if they were to fight each other, like Hakari would outlast him. Okay? And like a slightly higher interpretation, maybe it's just Hakari actually is stronger, but just stronger than Yuta on his own, not using his curse technique. Which I don't think would make much sense to say. Then the more medium ball interpretations is that like Hakari actually just is stronger than Yuta using his curse technique. So, and his sword. So that would include Rika, that would include everything Rika gives him. Hakari would still scale above that. Then the highest highball interpretation is that this is Yuta talking about memory. So he's saying like, the last time I saw Hakari, that Hakari was so strong, he's still stronger than I am right now. That's the highest highball interpretation. And then Hakari would get even stronger than that. So my argument is, if you use the medium ball interpretation of that statement, then Hakari would scale above Rika, even in the culling games. And like these disgusting hits that Rika's landing on Ryu, Hakari would do more than that. And just destroy this guy. And then on top of all of this, he trains for a whole month for the Shinjuku battle and gets far stronger than this. You can, if you're highballing it, you can make the argument.
Are we talking about end of series or like calling games Hakari?
Both. But I mean, like, I honestly, yeah, we can talk about both. I think both are above Ryu, but if we include the Shinjuku Hakari, then he gets a month of, he becomes dramatically stronger. And if you highball it, you can make the argument that base Hakari is relative to Jackpot Hakari here. And then he gets a Jackpot amp on top of that. So then he's just tearing Ryu apart.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate a couple of things really quickly before I let somebody else hop in, because I don't want to take up too much of the time. But I would say, number one, I think that for this statement of Yuta and Hakari's relativity, I think that we should just pick one interpretation and stick to it, because it's going to be very simple. I wasn't saying we should throw it out. I'm saying, hey, we gotta pick an interpretation and stick to it, because otherwise things are going to get messy. And number two, I'm going to reiterate that Hakari being stronger than Yuta, even if that is true, does not mean that he scales above Yuta in everything. It just means that holistically, Yuta thinks that he would lose in a fight. So you can't relatively scale Hakari based off of Yuta or Rika. Other than that, he should be somewhere in that ballpark.
I think that's fair. I mean, like, the interpretation I'm going with, though, is that, like, Hakari is just stronger than Yuta is. Like, because you can be stronger than someone and still lose.
I'm just saying that what I'm trying to say is that, like, when you say that Hakari should be doing more damage than Rika with his physical punches because Hakari is stronger than Yuta, I don't think that you've established the grounds so that we can scale that. I think that there's using a statement of general strength to pick categories and say that Hakari is above in these things. I just don't think you can do that. I think you need some sort of other supporting evidence to be able to back that up.
I think, like, so my stance on it would be this: the fact that Hakari has no long range attacks and no hacks of any kind other than like his regen, means that his boxing does all of the heavy lifting for him. So like that would imply that he would just outstat Yuta.
Why can't the regen do all that? And honestly, your interpretation of the statement I feel is weird. Like, I feel like an equally valid interpretation is Yuta never really addresses Rika and him as the same person. I think he could just be saying, Hakari's above me, which I think is perfectly, like, Hakari being above Yuta is perfectly fine. Yuta can't use any of his techniques without Rika, which he needed to beat Ryu. And he doesn't have Rika, and he doesn't have the unlimited first energy, but, Hakari is fine above that guy. Like,
but I also said that
and all of his techniques and him with the sword, like, that feels weird.
Yeah, I already said that. I said that what you just said, I said like twice earlier. That's like the lowball interpretation of it. I said that twice. But
I just have a lowball.
oh no, you're good. But yeah, Ryu, you could go.
Yeah, I was gonna say also that you said their interpretation that you're going with is that one, but you also said earlier that there's multiple interpretations that you can go with. Another one you can go with is he might know how Hakari's domain works, and he might know that he has insane regen, so he might know that Hakari can just regen everything. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think Yuta has the power to one shot, because if he can't one shot Ryu, which he clearly can't, right? Because I'm gonna bring this up after, but he wouldn't be able to one shot Hakari or somebody that can just constantly regen like their body parts instantaneously or whatever the case, right? His regen is just probably way too insane in his domain in the first place, so I don't blame him for saying that, right?
No, but
does know about that, right?
But Yuta can one shot him. Like if he uses cursed speech and then chops his head off, like he wins. So like my stance on it is like the fact that like even though I'll be honest, Yuta's hacks are better than Hakari's in my opinion. Like having cursed speech and like every possible curse technique you could think of, all of that, and he's still like, yeah, no, Hakari would still beat me. Like it leads me towards thinking that Hakari just has to outstat him. But that is like the more medium ball interpretation.
Yeah, because like even if you say his hacks is fine, having hacks is fine, right? But there's no hacks to insinuate he could just cut his head off like immediately. Like you would have to be saying he's doing that with physical strength because we know he don't have the output, right? We know that it's because I wrote down this fight, like as you were talking about it, I wrote down all this stuff earlier. So in the fight with versus Ryu, it states that he can only release like high outputs of cursed energy, right? Which means he can't use his full outputs of cursed energy without Rika, and he can only do that once he's fully manifested, right? And it even said, and if you're insinuating that that Hakari is stronger than Yuta, right? From your interpretation, he's stronger, right? And then he would beat Ryu. There's no way that even with hacks he will be able to actually hurt him, considering that even at full output, right, with a fully manifested Rika, right, was still not at the same level of output that Ryu was at all. It was almost close, but it still wasn't. He still wasn't the same output as Ryu, right? So Ryu was outputting still more energy than him, even after he had a fully manifested Rika, right? So he wouldn't be able to do anything versus Hakari in that state and to begin with, right? So that's number one.
Well, I would disagree with that because he's able to cut through Sukuna and his output's not on Sukuna's level. And he never uses his sword against Ryu. I'm not saying that he would like curse speech, freeze Hakari, and then just like punch Hakari in the nose and Hakari dies. I'm saying he would be able to like use curse speech, freeze Hakari, and then chop his head off. On top of that, like Yuta has like way more versatility. He has close range, he has long range, and he can jump his opponent and freeze them. He has all of these advantages, but he still says Hakari is stronger than I am. For Hakari to be able to endure an onslaught from Yuta and Rika at the same time, and for us to say that he can do that without being stronger than them is really hard to say.
Well, Ryu. Well, so you say he's not stronger than him for Ryu, but the issue with that is Ryu one shots Rika right after getting hit. Like I don't think you brought that up. Like right after he gets hit, and again he's doing good in the 1v2. It isn't like he's getting clapped. He's actually holding his own, and he's taking full power punches from a Rika who's arguably stronger than Yuta at this point in time, right? He gets hit by Rika. Right after that, one shots her to a point where she can't even like manifest. She can't regen herself. She can't do anything. The exact statement was a single blow that was too much for Rika to even completely manifest it. Right? Couldn't handle or couldn't like. It reached her limit right there. So his one punch alone destroyed Rika completely. And this is a fully manifested Rika that we just established lets Yuta use his maximum output, right?
No,
He can
not
use
his maximum out,
power.
not his maximum output. No, it just restores his full cursed energy. Like it doesn't say that his output is restored though.
It says right here that he can use high output amounts of cursed energy blast.
He can use the cursed energy blast, but not like his full output isn't restored though.
No, what I'm saying is, if it's telling you that Rika when fully manifested allows Yuta to use a higher output, right? That should correlate with his defense. That should correlate with his physical attacks and all of that.
No,
When
this
Rika's
is specifically
output
talking about like the high output blast. This is just a move like he can only do like he's charging with Rika together. But that doesn't mean that like his cursed energy output is back to normal. Like he's actually damaged in this panel, so it wouldn't even be at 100% anyway.
I'm not saying it's at 100%, but it's saying that he can use a higher amount of output. So why would that only just be a blast?
Well, because that's what it says.
Wait, low key? Like, why does this point matter? Because just told him, even if he was at 100%, he wouldn't be able to be Ryu. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, all the, like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I mean, it just seems like a fair interpretation, though, that Hakari would just be stronger than Yuta. Like,
I want to say, it feels like the main crux or the main crux of your stance is that that statement is just completely right on that statement, which I do want to point out feels hypocritical. It feels like you don't believe in the Gojo, Gojo stating that. And you pointed this out at the beginning, but it feels like you don't believe in the Gojo is stronger than Sukuna is stronger than Gojo statement, so you're believing on this super hard.
That's
I
fair.
do want to get to this, though.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
think
fair.
all of the three interpretations that you gave are equal? Do you think they're all equal interpretations, or do you think are you just going with the mid stance because the mid stance and high ball stance point to Hakari being stronger, and only the low ball stance?
Well, no, the stances are not equal. That's why I gave them a low, medium, and high ball.
Wait, just
Yeah. That's what I'm asking. Are you going with the medium ball because 2 out of 3 put Hakari above?
I'm going with the medium ball because it makes logical sense based off of what Gojo is saying too. Like later in the, so like let's view it like this, right? Later in Shinjuku, Gojo says that he still sees Yuta and Hakari as relative. How is that?
When does Gojo
It could
ever,
just be.
wait, when does Gojo ever say?
It's said in chapter 234. So
And I think
if
it's trying for them to be physically relative. You're saying all relative.
Because it could be one. Lilos, are you referencing Kari talking to Yuta about only being able to jump in if he or Yuta could take out Gojo or Sukuna?
yeah, no, that's not
exactly.
exact.
If I'm weaker than you, so he put them both on the same level.
Lilos, is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah.
Yeah, all it says is that if you or me could take out the Sukuna,
No, that's not what it says. No, that's not what it
I
says.
mean, I can,
No, I have it on screen. That's not what he says. So what he says is he says Gojo said he only wants help if he gets weaker than you or me.
yeah,
So not Sukuna. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, but even that statement alone is not enough because one time I heard you say, Lilos, that one arm Gojo is stronger than Hakari and Yuta. If what Gojo said to Hakari and Yuta is to be true, but at the same time, Kusakabe even said hey, Yuta, you shouldn't step out there when Gojo's being jumped because Gojo just fights better when he's fighting alone. He can't really go all out. Even if he is in trouble. So
Yeah, I mean those are all the same point. Yep. But wait, what were you saying though, real quick, Kenny? You were saying something?
yeah, Lilos, I'm not gonna lie. The whole weaker than jump in if just be in reference is that the Viz translation of the TCB? Because I think TCB says something.
This is the Viz. Yeah.
You mind pulling up the TCB translation? But either way, the point in contention would be they can just have different thresholds to what weaker is based off of.
Sorry, what did you say? I think you cut out. You said they have different thresholds, and then what?
Yeah, they could just have different thresholds for that goal based off of their kits that can lead it to be like during a similar time. Because like they have different fighting styles, be like or specifically different or utilize different in that fight.
But I'm not really seeing how that debunks what I'm saying though.
Because what Kenny is saying is like they can be of like different levels, right? But it could just be that Gojo just like regardless of what level they're at to each other, Gojo just ahead of them. So even when you saying that, it doesn't really prove.
No, I don't.
Really prove
I don't think that's what he was saying. Yeah, I don't think that's what he was saying.
Explain.
I do feel like the statement puts them like relative, but it doesn't mean one of
Can I
them.
finish speaking?
I'm sorry, yeah, sure.
Give an example. Like Yuta holistically could be an 8, right? And then like Hakari could be a 6. And then like Gojo, right? Would like come in at a and Yuta can now like be able to fight in this battle because he's like stronger than them. Whereas Hakari, because of his specific ability, Jackpot, can just now keep up or better than these people, pathetically, or like be very hard to kill due to his ability, which would allow him to be able to properly like stand up to. Similar to the fact of like, imagine like a Majin Buu-esque, where like Super Saiyan 3 Goku is like above the yield or like gen threshold, he's stronger than Buu, but can't kill that. He doesn't have enough.
So yeah, like
What you're saying is he has an ability that allows him to stick in the fight, even though normally he's not like of their level. I disagree. I feel like the statement is putting them at like saying they're both implying they're both at an age, but I don't think that's a problem. I think I think it could just be in terms of physicals. I think they're physically relative. The Yuta's ability to put them ahead.
well, here, hold on. Let me reply. Let me reply to him real quick. So, yeah, like that is what you were saying though, right? You were saying essentially like Yuta could be stronger, but Hakari can do similar things like leveraging his hacks essentially. So like Yuta could still be stronger than him, but they could still be on the same tier. Basically, is what you're saying. Is that what you were saying, Kenny?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. By the way, the TCB translation says something completely different. I was right. Dang, my knowledge is just too good, bro.
Yeah.
The TCB, the correct translation.
By the way, Epi just sent Epi has an actual volume, and he just sent in the chat of Gojo literally saying, "Only jump in when you're weaker than you and me."
Yeah. The actual value translation is buns because that's John Wary, and anybody who takes John Wary seriously like makes me want to like.
Well, to be honest with you, there are times where John Wary gets it right because there actually is a few instances where he gets it right. So
above TCB.
There is sometimes, yeah. Like the best example is yes, sometimes yes. There like the best example would actually be the Miguel statement where they're talking about linear movement versus I forget the other word. Yeah, like that. Like if you like actually get that translated, that is what it says. But then the TCB says like, oh, if we're bare knuckle boxing, then I would be losing at first, but then I would win later. Like there are a few instances. There are a few instances where John Wary is better.
Like a few, even if I were to concede on that, like I'd have to. I would just say that the overwhelming majority is that TCB is like a league better than John Ware. It's bad. John
Yeah,
Ware
in a lot of
said,
cases, yeah.
Like I would just like overall preferred. I think everybody prefers to take TCB translations more than they would.
So, and I'm also looking at the TCB, and it just says Gojo only allowed us to enter if he got weaker than us.
No, it says the TCB says unless he's weakened to the point that you and I could take him, Gojo told us to hold off, which is like,
That's like the same thing, though, brother. Like, so.
Is it you and I or you or I? You or
That's like the same thing, man.
Making them relative again?
Yeah, that's like the same thing.
What is the difference?
Wait, and why that's because one is saying that is weaker than you or me, right? And then one is saying weak to the point that you and I could take him, which could be something completely different because Hakari can be weaker than an opponent and still take them on.
But I mean, I think we're kind of arguing semantics here. Like the overall point that I'm making is that even after Yuta is confirmed to get dramatically strong, Sukuna says Yuta got dramatically stronger, and they're still relative. That's the point I'm making.
Hakari could have also gotten dramatically stronger.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point I'm making. That you just said my point. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You're team Hakari, right?
Sorry, what?
Lilo's your team Hakari, right?
Yes. I'm saying Hakari would beat Ryu. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, I would
Limos.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think we're stuck on it. Oh, sorry, go.
Specifically with the idea that Hakari got stronger. I don't think it matters because the idea would be that like Yuta is just stated above him.
By the narrator statement where it says that he's second to Gojo in unusual abilities.
No, I mean I sent you the actual translation recently, directly translated from the
I
comic.
do feel like the entire narrative of the story implies Yuta as number 2.
I mean, yeah, it is a debatable thing. There is, like, for example, if you wanted to talk about that one statement, what I could just say is that's just referring to right after the night of the Demon Parade. That's all it's talking about.
But that's not what it is.
That is what it says.
In this modern, no.
No, throughout the entire, like, even the fight and the
Read it.
Shinjuku fight,
Yeah.
Sukuna literally
Listen,
said,
not gonna lie, bro. That's not even how English works. It's two different sentences. Or two different thoughts.
Wait, but we're going all over the place. So, like, here, let me actually finish the point that I was making originally. So the point that I was making originally is this, right? The fact that Yuta gets dramatically stronger, and we were already seeing Yuta. Okay, here, actually, let me simplify it all into one batch here. The Yuta that was like beating up Ryu was a nerfed Yuta. He started the fight at a lowered output. The whole fight he's nerfed. Ryu never fights a full power Yuta. Yuta's not using his.
He does. It's stated that when he pulls out Rika again, he gets like a reamped.
It doesn't say that his output returns. Output and capacity are different things.
Why is his output?
Because that's one of the fundamental principles in JJK is when characters take damage or they use reverse curse technique. Both of those things lead to your output dropping.
I don't think you could demonstrate the idea.
It's stated and shown many times. It's stated and shown many times.
If you can give me a statement that says using RCT drops out.
Well, that one is more debatable. That's like a niche debate. It's based off of the Yuki versus. Yeah. Hold on. Let me answer him, guys. Hold on. Let me answer him, please. Yes, that is in the Yuki versus Kenjaku fight. In the Yuki versus Kenjaku fight, it's stated that Kenjaku, this like masterful sorcerer, 1,000-year-old guy, he's tired after using reverse curse technique. And it's also stated that, it's shown that Yuki is like not one-shotting Kenjaku anymore after she uses reverse curse technique.
That can just
they be more tired because they don't have just energy.
Yeah, that can just
You guys are I think you guys are missing. No, you guys are mixing up.
Gojo and Sukuna, they have such good. In the Hakari's case, he refills his cursed energy.
No. You guys, you're mixing up two concepts. Capacity and output are not the same thing.
Wait. But you just described.
You said they get tired.
So can also be like just derivative of their
Your
capacity being low.
your capacity being lower is not proven to nerf you. It's like you're still using the same amount of output, then your attack would be equal.
That's not inherently true though, because Lilos, that would be under the assumption that they have a capacity that inherently allows them to use 100% of their output. Wow.
Well, okay, like even if we go with this argument, this isn't like helping your case in any way. It's still just saying like Yuta's nerfed.
Wait, no, it's not, because if Yuta then gets the cursed energy back from Rika, then he wouldn't be nerfed anymore.
But it doesn't fix the output problem though, man. That's what I'm like output.
You argue that output lowers because you have less percentage.
No. Like,
Two
guys,
seconds, bro.
what I'm saying isn't like debatable. This is like what the story shows. Like Gojo proves that. Like Gojo, he like pretty much can't run out of cursed energy, but he can lose output. They're different things.
Gojo loses. Wait, the reason Gojo's losing out is because it's derivative of like 6 different things.
It's because he's taking damage, a lot of damage,
Wait,
Brain damage.
and then healed from it.
Even if wait. Even if I agree that taking damage can inherently weaken you, like debatably to an extent.
It's shown a bunch.
To an extent based off of, what is it called? How much damage you're receiving in comparison to like the RCT you're capable of putting into your body. I don't think that it's like
Well, no, it's just it's just guys, we see it a bunch of times. Like a good example would be like I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like Naobito.
because like Hakari doesn't seem to get weaker.
Well, like for example, Naobito. Naobito, it's like directly stated by the narrator, he had gotten weaker. He had become weaker because he lost an arm. Like his output is lower because he lost an arm.
Look, just enlighten me for like, are you trying to say that Gojo was weaker because he was using RCT at 100%? Is that what you're arguing here?
No. That's a separate argument. Like the argument that I'm making is that like, okay, so the initial argument I made is that Ryu never fights a actual 100% Yuta, which is just a fact. He doesn't fight him with his sword.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. Yuta's not using his sword the whole fight. And then on top of that, like what I'm adding is like he has a lowered output because he had just taken a lot of damage fighting Kuro, and then he had been hit by Thin Icebreaker, so those two things lower his output, and he used RCT, which it's debatable on if RCT lowers your output or just makes you tired, but it nerfs you in some way.
With a sword anyways. What are you talking about?
Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
Couldn't have fun. Like either way, you couldn't have fun.
Sorry, what did you say? You like cut out.
Yuta couldn't have.
He cut out again.
Yeah, you cut. Are you saying Yuta could not have fought Ryu with a sword?
Yeah.
That's not true because like he's able to chop Sukuna with a sword.
Wait. Yeah, and then Sukuna like breaks his swords and stuff. If Ryu like literally Yuta starts off with a sword against Kuro and it gets instantly broken.
What? You never breaks his sword.
Yes, it does. That's why he doesn't have a sword anymore. He eats it.
I thought he just dropped it, or like he couldn't like
He
get
made
it
the
without his reach.
eating it.
But guys,
against any of the opponents, like the sword would have been more of a hindrance, if anything, to be honest, during the battle, because all of them could have abilities that in one shot his sword, one, and two, not having the ability to use both of his hands.
Wait, hold on. First, you do realize what you just said defies all logic. Why would he use a weapon that's going to hinder his strength? Yuta, a sword definitely helps him out when it comes down to fighting. Even in the anime, we see him fighting with a pole. Like he needs a weapon in order to fight. We see that. So why would a sword?
That's in the anime. I don't care.
No, the anime. You act like the animation isn't like relevant, but that would be a lie. It is 100% relevant because that's what we see here, right?
The anime, you can never prove the anime is canon. I'm just talking about I haven't even watched the anime episode.
You don't think Gege sees the anime and approves it? He even says that.
I wouldn't use the anime stuff. Like I don't think that's needed. I don't think that's needed.
He literally says he doesn't watch the anime until after it comes out. What are you talking about?
Wait.
I don't think the anime stuff's needed.
Like, there's a part where like Gojo slams Suka in the face across like Shibuya, and he got that from watching Mahoraga versus Suka. That's what I'm saying. Like he takes things from the anime, he adds it to the manga. So like clearly the anime will be prevalent.
No, I wouldn't use that. I don't think it's fair to use the anime in this. But yeah, no, guys, I think my stance is like pretty fair. Like what I'm saying is like Yuta's nerfed when he fights Ryu. He has like okay. Maybe I could narrow it down a bit. At least at the very beginning, objectively, Yuta's nerfed when he fights Ryu, and then it becomes debatable as to how much he's nerfed after he does the Rika manifestation.
He manifests Rika in 2 chapters.
But
and the entire time afterwards, Yuta still gets like dogged on, and then Yuta still doesn't have the same output as you.
But yeah, I mean, I think like my stance on it is very fair, honestly, and like The idea that like the sword would not help is very hard to prove when we see Yuta performing better feats with his sword than he does without them. Like he's able to chop Sukuna's arms off. He's not able to like rip them off.
Wait. But specifically, like when we see him using swords and stuff against Sukuna.
Thanks for the donation, Darkblood. I appreciate it, bro.
Specifically, like when he's using like his domain swords and stuff, and even those get broken. Like,
But no. That doesn't debunk the point I made though. Like I'm saying he's performing feats with his sword that he cannot perform without them. Therefore, it's an inherent advantage.
It's fine if normally it's an inherent. I just think against top tiers, like this advantage doesn't work because he doesn't have enough sword to keep up with the level.
But like if he chops off like Ryu's arm, Ryu doesn't have RCT. Like Ryu would be nerfed after that.
I mean, Ryu having RCT or not is just debatable. I mean, like.
But he never heals.
Wait, I mean, he never has anything to heal.
Dude, no, he does, bro. Like when Rika punches him in the head, he could have healed from that, but he doesn't do it. And then like when he sees Yuta do RCT, he says, "Man, his RCT is a hindrance." Why would his RCT be a hindrance if Ryu also had it?
Because it's harder to fight people with RCT than not having RCT, even if you have it. Like Gojo Gojo versus Sukuna, it'd be a hindrance for Sukuna that Gojo has RCT, because if Gojo didn't have RCT, the battle would be easier, right? And with Yuki versus like Kenjaku, like any fight, even if you have RCT, it is a hindrance if your opponent has it.
That's okay, that's fair, but it's like Ryu never uses it. Like even after he takes serious damage, he doesn't use it.
Like I don't think you can prove he ever takes serious enough damage to warrant. Because
he literally gets hit with his own curse technique and says, "Wow, that hurts a lot."
Please
himself at all.
Finish, like for 1 second, please, can I finish?
Hurry it up, Mike.
I'm saying Lulos is like, I think you're looking at it from the lens of the people who we do see use RCT, people who just have like really big pools of cursed energy, and can spam RCT. I don't think the average person, even if like Ryu has like a better than average pool, I don't think he can properly like use RCT enough. And when he does get hit by Rika and stuff in the head and everything, that's after he pops domain and uses a significant amount of energy. Like I think people forget the idea that these people don't have Yuta's levels, like, don't have Gojo's level control. Like obviously he's not gonna have the same ability to be able to control or have enough burst energy after popping domain to be able to use RCT or reliably use it to the point where it's worth using. And then by the time it's hit by his own grand plat, like the battle's over, he lost. Like he probably also just doesn't have energy anymore. Like he's bottomed out.
But
I don't think that's wrong here. Let me add on top of that too. He did get hit with his granite blast earlier in the fight. When you say him and Yuta, you talking about the second time that they fought. The first time that they fought, Yuta was barely hurt at all. He didn't take really any damage at all, but like through the shoulder. And after that, he killed whatever spirit he was fighting at that time point. Like instantaneously, and then he went straight to fighting Ryu, and then Ryu was talking about like how his curse energy is crazy and how his output is crazy, right? And he still overpowers him, and he only takes damage from his attack after that too.
But like Yuta bottoms out on cursed energy after using RCT six times that, and Yuta bottoms out. So using RCT is strenuous for literally anyone. There's never a point in about where you could convince me that it would be a better idea for you, the guy with like ridiculous amounts of durability, that it's worth it for him to RCT.
Maybe like right after he got chopped by Sukuna, that's a good time to do it.
Right, I was gonna bring that up.
Okay, yeah.
But how durable you are?
He gets his head sliced off.
Not the first slash.
No, the first slash. Yeah. I'm talking about the first slash when Sukuna like slashes through his chest. He could have healed from that, but he doesn't do it.
Sukuna just says it's a.
But no, I mean it's just a fact we never see Ryu heal even once. So like the idea of him like having RCT when he never displays it I'm not sure where the argument comes from.
Okay, I can explain the argument as to why he.
No, because like even if we don't add RCT, like Kenny said earlier, his output is high enough to where he doesn't. He literally is tanking attacks from a character who he states output is high and he could take damage from, but he's just literally blocking all of his attacks and taking all of them anyways. And he really only takes damage from his own attacks, which kind of insinuates that these other characters can't really damage him at all. The only character we actually see any damage do to him is actually Rika, who you can arguably say is higher than Yuta, considering she's the one that allows him to access more of his power and has him access more of his output in the first place. So
Okay, but here, just real quick, guys.
You said damage. If you're being damaged, wouldn't it make sense to use RCT if you're able to utilize it? But it's just the fact that Ryu can't use RCT. I don't know why we're getting debate.
Real quick, guys. I think we're getting off track here. Like, I don't think any of these points are debunking my initial stance that I had. Right? The initial stance I had, just one more time, is if we're using the medium ball interpretation of like really any of the statements that compare Yuta and Hakari, then like Hakari in Jackpot at the very least would scale above Yuta. And then Yuta, when he's fighting Ryu, he's not at full power. When the fight starts, he's objectively nerfed. There's no debate over that. Because first off, he doesn't have his sword, and then second, he had already taken a lot of damage fighting Kuro, and then he had used RCT.
You're not. No, what you're doing is you're ignoring the first fight that they had, where he barely took any damage at all. They're boxing, and Ryu's outboxing him, and then he overpowers Yuta.
No, I think you're misunderstanding my point. The reason that Yuta is weakened when they first start fighting is two things. One is Kurushi, and like the damage he took from Kurushi and Thin Icebreaker and the Granite Blast, that all this hit him before the fight, and the fact that he had used RCT. All of these things weaken Yuta.
And he doesn't have his sword.
Yes, it's a lot of things going into it against a full power Ryu.
And then not only that, but there was even a certain point in time where he didn't even want to use RCT to heal himself because he didn't want to even rebuild that. So like,
hold on. There's actually one other thing. There's one other thing. Yuta's not even trying to kill this guy.
Right.
Wait, but earlier you also said that a Granite Blast could possibly from a farther be way weaker. I can agree with that. That's something you said earlier. And you also just say that he upped, and you can just say to up his output, right, to actually tank that attack. Because we see him take that Granite Blast, and nothing happens. Then he throws hands and gets completely mollywopped by it right after that. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like...
One thing I also want to break up is just the fact that Yuta isn't even using his curse technique here, right? Versus Ryu, who is throughout the whole entire battle. Like, it isn't until like he like finally figures out everyone's curse technique and like figure out how to defeat them, where he finally puts up his 5-minute timer and uses his curse tool as well. But outside of that, he's not even using a curse technique, and he's still boxing hand to hand with Ryu after being heavily nerfed.
Yeah, so, but like, I didn't really finish the point that I was making earlier. Like, we're seeing nerfed Yuta do all of these crazy things, and like the medium ball interpretation of Hakari is that like in Jackpot he's stronger than full power Yuta with his sword and Rika all together. He would still be stronger than that, and Ryu never fights that. Well,
that's pretty good. Either way of how you look at it is honorable. It wouldn't be stronger than Yuta and Ryu. There's no way you can look at it.
No, they're 100%. That's like me being nice to Yuta. That's me being nice to Yuta.
Can I finish? There's two interpretations you look at that statement, because Yuta typically refers to him and Rika as two different entities. He's either referring to himself at base, and he's saying on a roll, which on a roll, or like he gets in reference to when like he hits multiple jackpot, and his 2 jackpot was longer than an instance of having Rika out. So it could just be the case of him saying, oh yeah, I'll survive the first one, for example, then I'll be burnt out at Rika. There will be no more Rika, and I can't kill him fast enough when Rika leaves, and then Hakari would probably beat me when I burnt out in hand to hand. while I'm in.
Yes, that's fair, and I went over this like a few times now, but I'll say it one more time. Like that is the lowball interpretation of this statement. I agree with you. That is the lowball though. The medium ball interpretation.
How's that the low ball? How is that the low ball?
It's because
he just saying multiple times.
no. It's the low ball because there's two other interpretations that are far stronger than it and also likely. So I'll explain them one more time here. The medium ball interpretation is like, well, this is like in between low and medium. It's that Yuta's just talking about himself. He's not including his curse technique. He's like, yeah, Hakari is stronger than I am with no curse technique, which is quite frankly a weird thing to say in a story like JJK. The medium ball interpretation, the medium ball is that he's talking about Hakari is stronger than I am when I have my sword and I'm using Rika at the same time. Everything I have, all of that is just weaker than this guy. And then the high ball interpretation, which is even higher than that, it would be that Yuta's talking about his memory of Hakari. He's saying, when I last saw Hakari, that guy was stronger than I am right now. And that was a long time ago, and I'm still not on that level. All of these are valid interpretations. All of them. So, like, what you said is the lowest low ball. All of them are valid, though. Genuinely all of them. And the reason they're all valid is because Gojo himself is saying, like, hey, you guys are still relative, even after Yuta's gotten drastically stronger. If to be honest with you, hold 1 second. Hold on. Here, let me finish the point. To be completely honest with you, the low ball is the least likely because it would not make sense for Hakari to be relative to Yuta after Yuta gets drastically stronger if the low ball was true.
Yeah, I really want to say this. What are gods?
What'd you say?
I really want to say this. I completely disagree with what you're saying. First, in the context of the situation, Yuta is talking to Yuji. Yuji asks, why do we need this Hakari guy? And Yuta says, well, when this guy gets on a roll, he's stronger than me. And in that interpretation, talking to Yuji doesn't know about his abilities and Rika. Why would he? He's just saying like, hey, remember when you fought me?
Yuji literally seen Rika. What are you talking about?
He's seen Rika, but he's like a glimpse. He got grabbed by some.
He got yeah. What do you? So he would know how strong
he doesn't know.
Why would Yuta overhype Hakari to Yuji? For what?
Because Yuta's always been the reason he overhypes him is because Yuta's always been a character who thinks himself as lesser than everybody else. We've never
But he says he's going to get 400 points and kill Kenjaku. No, that argument is not. Okay, let me just be honest real quick. I don't understand that argument because Yuta's out here saying he's going to kill Kenjaku on his own and get 400 points on. How is that humble at all, bro? Like.
So the issue with that statement, you can just attribute him to acting like Gojo because he told Gojo you can't do it all on your own, right? He acts extremely like Gojo and does the same exact thing. He tries to do everything on his own, and people tell him he can't do everything on his own.
But these are contradictory points though. These are.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it already. Like it's just the fact that Yuta, right, at full power would dare compare himself to 16 or 15 or 600, however you want to call it, and then say that Hakari may be stronger than him, and then like you have Ryu being one-shotted by 16-finger Meguna, but Yuta will compare himself to 16-finger Meguna and saying that like, hey, like if push comes to shove, I'm just gonna defeat him.
Also, another thing I wanted to say is Megami. Megami also says Hakari's stronger than Yuta too. Megami says it too. And like Yuta saying that like dramatically influenced their actions. Like Megami's like Yuta says Hakari's stronger than him. We need Hakari's strength. Like it changes the way they make their plans. Like it would be kind of a wild thing for Yuta to just lie about that. It dramatically changes the culling games.
I speak.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up 30. There was a lot. There's been a lot.
Oh, your mic is cutting out real bad. I don't know if it's just on my end.
Yeah. No, it's everyone.
Oh, okay.
I hear like techno noises from his mic.
I thought it was just something. Is my mic cutting out?
No, yours.
No. Can you hear me?
Oh wait, was that Anna? Was that Anna right there, or was that Kenny?
Seeing if you guys could hear me or not.
Oh yeah, we can. Here, let's Anna. Did you want to say something? Because you haven't shared yet. If you wanted to say anything.
Ryu. I love the Ryu versus Maguna fight to make it like look worse than it actually is. It's one, Ryu doesn't fight the way he normally does. Okay, he's never experienced somebody as strong as Maguna, and when he is fighting in a specific situation, he doesn't try to pop domain. He doesn't like try to maneuver or try to fight him. He stands still the whole time, and like this just ridiculous. Stated and told to us when Toto and Yuji fight Hanami to weaken sorcerers, right? Like your mental state and stuff can weaken you, right? So this isn't even like full power Ryu. That's one. Two, it's just implicative to the story that Sukuna does just get stronger pretty massively when he does eat fingers, even if it's one, right? When we look at when Jogo fights 15 finger Sukuna, right? Jogo has in his mind that he can stay relative to the Sukuna in the idea that he is going to be later in terms of his strength. But then implies that it's like an exponential increase, right? He's like, bro, I did not think that I wouldn't be able to do anything to him. This is like way stronger than I thought he would be, right? So there's definitely some form of implication that there is exponential increases more than linear increases when it comes to Maguna. That's one.
Please let me handle your lightweight. Oh my lord. What argument was that? What argument was that? Are we assuming that Sukuna is to go all out against Ryu? Who like Sukuna even says himself that, hey, my bad for underestimating you. I'm gonna one shot you next time I attack you. And then Ryu was like, as soon as he even felt Sukuna present, was just like, hey, this is way too much for me. But not only that, but the reason Drove, I think that's his name, the 4,000-year-old sorcerer who took over Japan 4,000 years ago, he got one-shotted by Yuta, and it could be argued that out of those five, he was the most strongest compared to even Ryu, Uro, and the Karu first pair, and he got one-shotted by Yuta. Like,
no, he didn't.
He did.
It's a panel, literally no other damage but the one slap.
Got one shot,
It is
bro.
the one slap.
That literally could have been Ryu had he gone out. That literally showed on screen. 160. I just want you to understand that one shot that he did against that sorcerer could have been Ryu.
You do know that there's just a statement that Jaruf had his hands occupied with Yuta, and that Yuta and Jaruf had been fighting for a pretty decent amount of time.
No, I don't know if that's true. I think Yuta did just one shot him.
No damage whatsoever. That's literally the introduction of the fight. Also,
we don't know that because Yuta has RCT. We don't know if he had damage.
Wait, hold on. I do not think you want to make that argument. That would mean Yuta's even more nerfed. That would mean Yuta's even more nerfed.
Even though I can see to what you're saying, which I completely don't, if you're saying that Yuta's using RCT in this fight that he had to use it against Drove, which clearly would have been relevant to like being shown at the very least, if we're saying that, that means he was definitely not going all out against Ryu, because he took down, 3 more special grades after that? And then Ryu, he definitely weren't going all out.
Well, no, I mean, it's objective that Yuta was not going... He was not trying to kill Ryu. Ryu was trying to kill Yuta.
Yeah, he just wasn't going all out.
And he did not have his sword, and he was at low output. Like, no, this was not a full power Yuta. He still bodies Ryu. And then Hakari scales above that in Jackpot. And then, and then the other thing is, like, Shinjuku, like, here's just, like, something else that just to really quickly talk about. Like, I mean, this is what I said at the start of the stream, right? But if we just take the statement literally, and Jackpot Hakari literally is stronger than Yuta and Rika together, then, like, that crazy punch Rika did to Ryu, like, Hakari can do more than that. And, yeah, so, and then here's the other argument, is that Shinjuku Hakari, this is the highball here, Shinjuku Hakari in base might be relative to that. He might be relative to Jackpot Hakari in Culling Games. And then he gets a Jackpot on top. So it's like, he would just destroy Ryu, like, body him so bad.
And not only that, but even if you want to like low ball Hakari to the absolute max and say that Hakari, wait, real quick. If you want to say Hakari is only stronger than Yuta in Jackpot mode, you're talking about a Yuta who one-shotted Druve, the 4,000-year-old sorcerer who just one-shotted him. And mind you, that could have literally been anyone. It could have been Uro, the Karu's Curse Bear, or Ryu. It could have been anyone. And he just one-shotted the strongest player there because he had the most points at the time. Let me finish. Hold on. Wait. Let me finish. He one-shotted him, and then after that, he proceeds to even defeat the cockroach curse spirit, and that's just Yuta alone. And then he tanks multiple attacks from Oro and Ryu at the same time. He tanks that's just Yuta by himself, not including Rika at this point in time. You're saying that Hakari wouldn't be stronger than Ryu. That defies all logic. I can't agree.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like, Hakari, the fact that Hakari is sort of the heavy hitters, and
Please.
By the way, that really called into question at all that Yuta and Hakari are relatives. So does anyone have any arguments that aren't just based on the idea that Yuta and Hakari secretly actually aren't relatives?
No, that's a good question. Yeah.
I was saying that before. So, like, specifically, for this statement that, like, Yuta and Ryu, or, like, not Ryu, Hakari is, like, quote-unquote stronger than him. It's just, like, no matter how you put it, at worst for Yuta, right? It says when he's on a roll or worked up, right? Which is, like, in reference to him being on a roll or doing multiple jackpots. So, like, at worst, even if you lowball that to two jackpots are longer than one Rika connection. So that could just be saying that, like, Hakari can outlast him, then beat him up. Or it can just be saying that, which makes most sense because Yuta refers to Rika as her own person, like, multiple times throughout the series, right? And instead he just says, yeah, Hakari's stronger than me when he's worked up, which could just mean that base Yuta survives an entire jackpot with Hakari.
That would make no sense because they're stated to be relative to each other.
Either way, that would make them far above Ryu, and that would
Are you? Wait, okay.
Either way, far above Ryu.
In one person speak at a time, real quick. Hold up. I think it was the lady who said it first. What are they stated to be relative?
Stated by what? Gojo? Okay, why would Gojo?
Bro, well,
Every time, like, multiple times, Gojo's like, yeah, the new sorcerers of the new age, they're all crazy strong. They're like...
No, that's not lady, that's not even what he says, bro. He just says they have crazy potential. You know who else is in that panel when he says that? Toto. Is Toto relative to Yuta now, buddy? Is that what you're gonna say? Are you gonna argue that?
That's not for the agenda, yeah. But no, okay. Let me bring up another panel. Let me bring up... No, I was just joking. Okay, let me bring something else up, right? What's it called? Kenjaku. When Kenjaku is talking about the heavy hitters of, Kenjutsu, right?
Yeah.
Brings up Maki, Yuta, and Hakari. They're all considered to be heavy hitters, and unless you think the heavy hitters are just random and, like, they don't matter, they're all probably relevant.
It doesn't have to be like that. It can just be that these three players have different things that can cause Kenjaku's plans to be thwarted because of their strength level and abilities. Like,
But guys, I'm really not understanding. Guys, I'm just really not understanding, like, why we're saying, like, Hakari and Yuta aren't at least relative when they're shown and stated to be so many times.
And your only reason that they aren't is really, like, hurt.
I feel like this, even if you want to say Hakari is weaker than Yuta, that's still saying enough
just for you to do like one time, please.
You've been talking for like 40 minutes.
Right, like, what do you mean? You finished multiple times already.
Every single second, I've been cut off at least once. Like, no,
Bro, everybody has, and you cut off people more than once. What is that?
Hold on. I feel like this, and I don't think I can be more simple. Like, I don't think I can, like, express this enough. Even if you want to say Hakari's a tier below Yuta, which she's not, but even if you want to say that, that's still well above Ryu. I want to, like, actually understand that. Like, Ryu is, like, what, Mahito level?
Mahito level's crazy. He's not Mahito level.
No, we're not.
It's not.
This is the shrimp here, right?
Level. No.
It took
He's
Ryu
not.
alongside Uro, alongside Drove, alongside the special great curse spirit in order to actually, like, give Yuta a fight. Ryu alone doesn't stand a chance against Yuta. Like, is that understandable?
That's not at all.
Okay.
You would disagree with me, but then Yuta got jumped and he still won.
Ryu just has more output.
No one got jumped. It was a free for all.
Like, that's just stated.
They were.
But no, I mean, out of that whole duo, like Yuta was the one who went into that nerf though.
He said it was a sheep frog. Hikaru's curse spirit only attacked Yuta and Yuta alone. He never attacked anyone else. Not only that, but Uro was specifically mad at Yuta the most, calling him a Fujiroa or something like that from a past band member. So she was specifically targeting Yuta majority of the fight. And then Ryu himself wanted to fight Yuta the most because he knew that he was the strongest.
But
Like the last 2 chapters of the fight.
Can we present it back to just like the Hakari and Yuta being relative thing?
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I listed out my argument, and I think like the only way to debunk it is to say. I think the only way to debunk my argument is to just say that like they're not relative, but like I think it's pretty clear they are.
It's like
Bro, that's a different. No, wait, no.
But
You're taking a statement, right? And you're an interpretation of what you think that statement is saying based on what you're reading, and other people can have different interpretations, right? So you have to go off of scaling, because you're just gonna keep saying my interpretation is this person's interpretation is that. If y'all gonna have 2 different interpretations on one writing, we can actually bring up actual stats then of what that character's actually doing, which is what Kenny and me been trying to do the entire time.
well,
right?
no, I mean,
Saying,
if I do that, you guys are not gonna like it because it's even worse. Like, okay, let's do that. Then let me do that real quick. Hakari's stronger and faster than Maki. You won't like it, but he's stronger and faster.
Wait, Milos, I thought you was gonna go the route of Hakari RCT is way more faster than Gojo and Sukuna, so Ryu can't even do damage upon Hakari if he barely did damage against Yuta, and Yuta was healing.
Well, no, he can't. But like but like I mean, yeah, he's stronger and faster than Maki.
How harder hit than Maki? Arguably faster.
Yeah, he's stronger and faster because Maki gets blitzed by Frost Calm, and then Urarame uses more power, like calls Hakari a monster, says like gonna use everything, stuff she's never done before to defeat Hakari, and she can't freeze him.
No. Hey, Kenny, I don't know if you just heard what they said, but earlier they was just arguing how all these people are on a similar level. And when you said earlier that doesn't mean that they're actually on a similar level, they could just have like levels above each other a little bit, and I'll just be all top tier hitters, right? Now they're going with your actual point that you said earlier, right? Now the argument isn't that they're all on a similar level, right? It's, oh, Yuta's hitting heavier than Maki and Hakari's hitting heavier than Maki. Then the statement of them saying that they're all on a similar level doesn't matter then.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Like you said, you asked me to provide you some feats, right? Like you. I mean, no, you just asked for feats, and like yeah, I mean. Well, no. You asked me for feats, and then I just gave feats, and you're like, well, not those ones. Don't use those.
Even if you were to say that's cool. I'll still man that for a second. Yuta in Volume 0 just goes relative with like. Ghetto can go relative with obviously like Yuta and Rika, right? This Rika is stated to just be like in the same ballpark as Gojo, okay? Gojo above Toji by a like unsurmountable amount of margin.
I mean, that's still Volume 0, but I see the logic of like change killing you're going for. I just think when it comes to new, like late series.
I'm saying Rika.
Ghetto is stupid.
You that thing really want to run.
It's like just me, but yeah, it wasn't really prepared to write the story then too.
But yeah, that's weird. Volume 0 is like the best representation of what we could use for a chain or a larger scale, in all honesty.
Oh, man.
I mean, you can think that it's just in the series though, and if we're using scaling, that like Yuta just has that, which is a higher assertion of what Hakari has.
Well, I mean, like if you want to use that, that just means that Volume 0 Yuta is stronger than even Shinjuku Yuta.
Why does that mean he's stronger than Shinjuku Yuta?
Because nothing puts him on that tier ever again.
Say it again?
Nothing puts him on that tier ever again. Like they both, like Yuta himself considers that he at full power is weaker than one arm. Low output Gojo, who doesn't have blue, who doesn't have infinity.
Just be stronger than Volume 0 Gojo. I don't care.
Yeah, same with Yuta.
Okay, but like, yeah, if you want to go with that argument, then not okay. Then you're using statements from Volume 0. Okay, that's fine. Then that just means Hakari scales above all of that as well.
Wait, but like in that sense, like again, Yuta just has the higher assertion.
No, he does not, because Yuta himself, with this higher assertion, says Hakari's stronger.
Wait, okay, but then that's what's in. Well, like what we said before is that we were gonna go to feats and then see what the feat said, but like, and that's what's in question.
Okay, so what the feat said is that Rika and Yuta working together were weaker than Ghetto.
Wait, they were like just as strong.
No, they were like massively weaker, because Rika, even with a death binding vow, is weaker than Ghetto at full power.
Wait, no, the death binding vow. Rika is weaker than like all of Ghetto's curses. Like
that's just full power Ghetto.
Yeah, I'm just referencing like the physical stats of Ghetto, because the idea would be more so inclined to say that Rika is as strong as Gojo, and that Ghetto can keep up with Rika, and Yuta can also keep up with that Ghetto, and even speed blitz him in moments.
But like the Rika that Yuta has now isn't even the same Rika.
Do you really think Rika's stronger as Gojo?
I don't care about that. It would be more so the fact that Yuta speed blitzes him. You do realize that it's stated that Ghetto pulls out Playful Cloud when he's in a pinch.
But yeah, I'm not seeing like the scale you're trying to do here. Like what is the main like goal you're trying to establish with the scaling? Are you saying like Yuta's like really strong because of JJK0?
Yeah, so like it would be Ghetto, right, is relative to a weaker Yuta, right? And then it would be that Yuta that Ghetto can still keep up with Rika. Rika is strong enough to kill Gojo. Gojo is stronger than RCT Gojo. RCT Gojo is like a one-shot level above Toji.
But Rika's not gonna Gojo.
Yeah, no, Rika can't even hit him.
And
It's just
can't
right now.
It's never stated that Rika
What
can
are
kill
we
Gojo.
even-
You're just saying patient for 40 minutes.
Wait, it is just stated though.
No, is curse technique even like fleshed out in JJK0?
It was.
No, it was.
Well, no, they don't even have domain expansions in JJK0, because if you have domain expansions, Gojo just one taps them all.
Like our own screen to show them.
Well, no, like at the time.
Why? What are you talking about?
No, stop. Don't throw insults, Chojo. Like, no, but in JJK0, it's implied that they don't have domain expansions because, like, the way Ghetto talks about maximum techniques, he talks about that as if it's the pinnacle of sorcery, but, like, domains are the pinnacle.
Maximum.
Literally called maximum, and like something you would name an act before you come up with your actual finishing end of series maximum technique type thing.
But also, like, all of this being said, like, that's not the same Rika anyway. Like, the Rika that Yuta has is not the same Rika. Like, Rika's soul.
Rika doesn't really matter to this besides the actual chain. The idea is Ghetto also loses, like, it's getting like
because Rika doesn't work. This is non-existent. That's not a real fact that she killed Gojo. Not possible.
Wait, I sent the statements in chat. But,
Why are we even talking about this?
I'm not sure.
So like, and then you didn't feel like that, so and damage him and like make his like face swell up.
I don't get it. Where are you reading that?
That these guys would be like massively stronger than Toji.
Then
What? Like anything even slightly relevant to the conversation.
Are we having another debate now? Why are we talking about Toji in the first place?
Now we're talking about why Ghetto
Toji is an unscaling. Yo, track.
I thought we were talking about Maki, like Hakari being faster than Maki.
yeah, that was what I said.
Okay. And who does Maki scale to, bro?
Yeah, of course, yeah, Toji and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just like you continued on rambling for so long. It's just like, where are you going with this? Okay, and so like, let's say Yuta is above Toji. Okay, what's the end goal here? Like, let's just say every time somebody, what are you trying to say about Ryu?
And every time somebody tells me what doesn't work or what how your argument isn't really solid in any way, okay, but these move on to something not really good debate on.
No, so I think the point that you're making is you're saying like Yuta could also scale above Toji. Is that the main point?
Yuta has a higher assertion above where Hakari does because Yuta does it to a higher degree and higher thresholds. It's stronger from there.
Yuta does or Rika does?
Yuta.
When does Yuta do that?
When did Yuta what?
Like you're okay. So just to follow the argument you're making, like because you're saying this as a counter to the point I was talking about with Hakari based off of feats is stronger and faster than Toji, right? So like so your point that you're making is like Yuta is also stronger and faster than Toji. That's the point you're making?
But to a bigger margin, yes.
Based off of what exact feat?
Okay. So
Because if it involves Rika, then it's void.
Yuta speed blitzes and punches Ghetto, who's holding Playful Cloud in the chin, and like does significant damage.
So like, but like him. Okay, so you can be weaker than someone and land an attack on someone. That's a common thing in like pretty much any kind of fight.
Look at Ryu versus Yuta, for example.
Even if you want to say lands an attack, he doesn't just land an attack. He goes from in front of him to behind him and then lands an attack. But this is landing an attack on somebody who we agree on would be like multiple speed blitzes above the person.
Your curse energy sparks when you're enraged, by the way. Same thing with a Black Flash. That's only happened in anime, but still, his curse energy was spiked because he was enraged. We've seen that versus Yuji versus Naruto as well. Yuta was in a calm mindset. He's just a casual maniac. A calm maniac.
Mindset is just like what sorcerers should
But-
typically aim for or have once they become like more experienced. So you always have that mindset.
So I have the page on screen and like Ghetto still reacts to him.
Like,
And,
he turns his head, but he doesn't physically react.
He dodges it. He literally dodges him. He dodges him.
What if he gets punched in the face? What do you mean he dodges it?
It's because he's like making fun of him. No, I'm looking at the panel right now. Like Yuta dashes.
It looks like Yuta perception blitz him.
He doesn't though because like he looks at him.
Not perception blitz. Yeah, you can't.
No, that's not a perception blitz. I just think it's
Oh, whoa. Yuta gets one good punch on Gato. Give him a good
Wait.
Well, I mean even in this panel, like when he tries to actually attack Ghetto just dodges it.
Okay, wait. Before we hold on, because like from what I'm seeing, we going from right to left, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Yuta puts his hand up. He's looking at Yuta. Yuta blitzes towards him and ends up behind him.
Mm-hmm.
His face is facing forward and straight. And then the next panel, he turns around before Yuta gets attacked. Before Yuta gets ready to do his full attack. So in the right panel, in the left panel, after Yuta already blitzed him, then he turns around. But on the right panel where the action is happening, it's clearly showing that he's looking forward the entire time.
Yeah, and also, mind you, this isn't even a full power Ghetto, and the whole time he's like making fun of Yuta.
Why is he
No.
It's-
I'm on Kenny's
well,
side with
it-
it. Like, I'm on Kenny's side with it.
Well, no,
He's getting to-
it's because he released thousands of cursed spirits, and that like takes energy. It tires him out.
Releasing thousands of cursed spirits make him weaker.
It's stated.
What?
It's stated.
Where's
JJ Williams said it himself.
where's it stated?
Well, it's stated that it like make.
Carlos, you're in for a run, buddy.
No,
What's
I-
it physically?
Like, yeah, physically weaker.
like he gets tired. Like there's a couple statements. There's a couple statements in the series where it says like. Well, there's some statements in the series where it says releasing like cursed spirit manipulation like makes them tired. I need to. It'll take me a second to like find it. I would. It was either they said it about teen Ghetto or adult Ghetto. But like I remember there's a few statements where they're like, oh, he would be tired from releasing those spirits.
Wait, I'm not gonna sit back and ignore what you guys just said. Are you saying that using your curse technique isn't gonna physically wear you out? Do you think that's a thing?
I don't think specifically for like Shikigami summoning or something, right?
It does. It definitely does.
What I'm talking about, I can't even get a sentence out.
if you don't have like the six eyes or like Sukuna level of curse energy or like Yuta maybe, you can definitely run out of like curse energy, and curse energy is what makes you physically stronger. Negally,
run out of curse energy.
let me finish. Dino, let me finish. We've been over.
Let me finish. I was
No, bro. No, let me finish. That was fine. Like, you just go on a rant with no end, with no purpose whatsoever. Whatever you said, if you summon multiple Shinigamis or curse spirits alike, whatever the case may be, you're definitely gonna run out of curse energy. You're definitely gonna get physically tired. That's just an undeniable fact here. Let's not play dumb.
If that was the case, okay. If that was the case,
Which it is. Which it is.
Which is the case. Why didn't he then, even though he summoned 4,000 cursed spirits?
Why did he what?
Why didn't he run out of cursed energy?
Why didn't he run out of cursed energy even though he summoned? Even though he summoned 4,000 cursed spirits? What you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so
Arsenal.
6,000.
we didn't say 4,000 with his cap. We didn't say that's what is required for him to pass out and die. Not just how much he had, and how much he has mastered over the years, bro.
Time like activating his technique and like him pushing out a curse. Activates a certain CE amount, okay? And he sends out 6,000 of them. Then anybody, right, would bottom out. That's just illogical.
You can't just say that. That's how you feel. There's no, that's how you feel. It's not a logical statement in any way.
We don't even have to go. We don't even have to go with that one. So basically,
You think he's gonna replicate that same?
So basically,
I don't think he did it twice. I think he did it one time.
Hold on, bro. So with you, King, with King, Kazuki, Lilos was saying, right, is in this panel, y'all just saying that he used enough cursed spirits to where he got weak enough to where Yuta could perception blitz him, right? Because this clearly was happening in the panel.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is he got physically weaker after using his curse technique. Yeah, that's
Wait. Okay, I get what you're saying, but
No, hold on.
Kazuki, you agree with that? And Lilos, Kazuki, you agree with that? And Lilos, you agree with that too, correct?
Well, yeah, using his curse technique like requires cursed energy. Like he can't do that without.
Wait. So I'm gonna ask this one more time. So y'all saying he used his curse technique so much that it made him weak enough to where Yuta can perception blitz him?
No. He doesn't. He does not perception blitz him.
But I do think using his technique made him weaker.
Yeah, it's not a full power Ghetto anyway. And like Ghetto's like legitimately like clowning around in the fight. Like he's like laughing and like, well, not laughing, but he's like just he's kind of chilling.
It's pressure. It's stated he's pressured. I'm not even gonna take that, bro. It's just stated. It's stated he was going all out. I can get the statement.
Yeah. Not only that.
Wait. Low-key, I just realized it doesn't even matter.
Like a holding back Ghetto can get pressured. That's fine.
This specific like what is it called? The specific Ghetto in question would just also be a weakened Ghetto, so it wouldn't matter. Like I don't.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna see where I can find that.
Look at it like this. We have a 3 or 4 finger Sukuna who just got finished using RCT domain expansion, right? Who says that, hey, if I would have fought Maharaga back then, I probably would have lost. Probably maybe.
I don't even know why we bringing that up. I don't know what the hell.
What I'm saying is because we have a Sukuna who use domain expansion, right? Pinnacle of Jujutsu. This is him using his curse technique, and he used RCT, and he should be physically weaker. But then he said, I might be able to take on Maharaga. So we have Ghetto bringing you guys back to the point. We have Ghetto using 1,000 cursed spirits.
That doesn't matter.
Think about this way. Think about this way. He's gonna allow you to implement of all his current curse spirits at the time into one prior for the 10. Right? So with it having less, spirits for that attack, make that weaker.
I'm trying to
understand. Less, would that not make his attack weaker?
No. That's what I'm trying to understand. So I'm just, y'all said about just attack, but I'm saying like in general, y'all also said physical earlier multiple times. Like I went back in the stream and I can iterate everything y'all said because I got the stream on my TV right now, hearing everything y'all saying play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like earlier y'all said it makes them physically weaker when Kenny was talking, right? So I'm asking y'all, did it make using his curse spirits? Did it make him so weak that Yuta perception blitzed him? Y'all didn't agree with
Yuta
that?
does not perception blitz him. No, He does not perception blitz
Well,
him.
I think that's a conflation almost.
Wait.
Okay, and then hold on.
You just said he's not perception blitz, but with the own panel that's on your stream,
You're
you're
not perception blitz.
not even
Wait, hold on.
honest.
Wait.
No. You just said something, so I'm gonna argue that, right? We see in panel that Kenjaku is looking at Yuta. He's right in front of him. He runs towards him and blitzes him. He specifically said out of his mouth, he's even faster. He's looking forward in both of the side panels on the right. Then after he starts charging up his sword to get his attack off, that's when he turns around. So as he's running towards him and he blitzes behind him, he's not keeping up with his speed. He just got behind him. So he's looking after the fact.
But that's irrelevant because like he's not fast enough to even land an attack on him.
But he's getting perception blitz, like he's literally getting ran in perception blitz.
Yes, a
No, that's not perception blitz. If you don't want to
Let me say this. It's gonna be real quick. Let me get this out. What I will say is, after Ghetto uses his thousands cursed spirits to fight Gojo and the other sorcerers, and he took down Funamaki, Panda, and Maki, and then used cursed spirits against Yuta, yeah, that made him physically weaker. That's what I will say. So if you want to say that would make him get perception blitz, okay. Yuta didn't have to like do that. Yuta didn't have to summon.
Yeah, even if that was the case, I gotta agree with you, Chad. Even if that was the case, why would that matter? Like, you
Yeah, it's
didn't
not-
have to do that.
It's not full
At the end
power.
of the day, if that was the reason why he got quote unquote perception blitz, which he did it. That's not helping your chain scaling in any way when it comes to Hakari and Hakari.
Ghetto had to literally fight the whole entire verse dolo. I think that does help a lot. Is there anyone
Not really.
here? Is there anyone to like argue what I just said?
No, I wasn't disagreeing with you, Keisha, about that. No, I wasn't disagreeing with you, Keisha. I wasn't. I was agreeing with the fact that even if that was the case, which is more likely is the case, because that's just how curse energy works. The more you use, especially in large quantities like that, the more it takes a toll on your body. Say that wasn't the case, right? Him getting not perception blitz but speed blitzed by enraged Yuta with Rika is not some kind of anti-feed or a good way to chain scale that. Just a specific version of Ghetto, which isn't a very strong version of Ghetto, to current Hakari or Rika or Yuta.
Yeah, but
Or even Ryu.
even though y'all are assuming that you don't know how much we know it takes a lot, but you don't know how much curse energy he has, and you don't know how much it actually took to be.
Okay, so listen, if you're gonna argue about what we don't know, the reason
you need to do stuff like that. So the reason you need to do stuff like that is because again, you're interpreting shit, right? So
no, that's not true.
Wait.
I'm not interpreting shit. That's just what happens in the manga, bro. That's just what happens. That's just what he.
Wait. I'm not arguing that you do not get weaker. That's not what I'm arguing, right? What I'm arguing is, right, did he get weak enough to where Yuta can blitz him like that or speed blitz him like that?
Oh, I already answered that. I said, even if that is or isn't the case, that does not matter at all in terms of the earlier chains, because that's how we were on this conversation. Because the earlier chains that we're arguing, that would not, especially since he's generation Rika buffed, that would not correlate to any reasonable chain scaling that you can use with any logical reason. From JJK 0, by the way, we're not talking about like chapter 3, right? Just JJK 0. That you could use that chain scaling for Hakari, Rika, Ryu, or Curry Yuta. It just doesn't work like that. That's the whole thing what I'm saying. And I see not just small part of the light.
I ignore the fact that Ghetto took on 2 special grades at once and was fighting the whole entire verse by himself.
Yeah, Ghetto was. Yeah, he was. I will never discount that. But that's not the point here. Is what I'm saying. That's not what this debate is about. Is what I'm saying. Y'all trying to get us back on track.
Yeah, another thing real quick, Rika might be amping Yuta too. Rika might be amping Yuta. So like these aren't even like actual Yuta feats, they're more like Rika feats. That's also possible.
I was gonna say that, by the way, because it does. When Rika is summoned, he does get amped. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Wait, I did that earlier. Wait, Lilos, you wait, hold on, because Lilos, you disagree with me that that's the case.
No, he disagreed earlier that that was the case for output instead of just regenerating how much he had. As far as I remember, it wasn't.
Oh no, that is fair. Like yeah, that you're right. That is like a contradiction. That's a contradiction. Yeah.
That's just two different things. That's two different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like the other thing is like this is a different Rika altogether. This isn't the same Rika.
Also, yes.
It's an absolutely different thing.
Oh, wait, that's complete. Okay, cool. Explain to me how output works.
Wait, no, wait.
Oh, wait, let me do that. I'm good at explaining. I'm good at
Hey, Joe.
Wait, hold on, please.
I want Lilo to explain it.
I wanted to. I'm not gonna explain output. I was just gonna say something. This is a death binding vow, like Yuta. Like he agreed to die with Rika. So.
Well, that's just like the last attack. That's just the last attack.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but
the guy who argued that already loved, by the way. So this is kind of pointless now. But
Lilo, can you explain to me how output works?
so yeah, like why is that relevant to this though?
Because like I'm not under, because y'all saying what I'm saying is wrong, but from what so this is what I'm saying. If y'all don't understand what I'm saying, right? But I'm pretty sure y'all.
I got you. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. If you don't mind me stepping in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, explain what I'm.
So what we're talking about with the whole Rika giving Yuta his energy back, his current energy back. She didn't restore his output. She just restored the amount. So imagine it this way, right? You have a water bottle, and the nozzle is broken because you took a little damage, so the output's pretty bad. But you can still refill that water bottle. The output is just gonna be bad until you fix it. If that makes sense.
But this is a different thing. This okay, so here, hold on a second. So like this.
I understand that. Like if you have 100% of like, let's say your curse energy is like 100,000, right? But you can only output like 20,000 of that curse energy, right? From what I'm understanding from the statement where it says Yuta can only release high outputs of blast of curse energy while Rika is fully manifested, I'm assuming, right, because he has like this insane bottomless amount of energy, right, that he can output like 50 to 80% of whatever his maximum output is at that point in time. No?
Well, no, it's just like we never see Yuta do that. We never see Yuta do that beam on his own. It might just be like a move he can only do when Rika's manifested. But like the other thing, Yuta's like strength buff that he's doing in JJK0, part of it is he's like growing as a sorcerer. This is like a brand new beginner sorcerer Yuta. So he's like, he says, I'm starting to get the hang of it. So like he's like becoming a sorcerer mid-fight. Like the amps he gets are like different.
Yeah, I can agree with the zero. The only part that I didn't agree with is that Jaco wasn't getting speed. That was my only thing, right? Other than that, but like I'm trying to stick on my point that I'm saying. So like from what I'm understanding, right? This quote of him saying he can release high output blast of curse energy while Rika is fully manifested. Is his output not constantly at that level?
Oh, okay. Let me explain that real quick.
And I do have to get going in like 5 minutes, by the way. I got to get going in like 5 minutes.
I mean, not only is it adding to his output, but it's also adding to his curse energy manipulation, like control as a whole. Because as we know, yeah, Misha does output a lot of energy all the time, but it's not on purpose. That's from the lack of control.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. I'm saying like, okay, so this is what I'm saying.
Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. Let's just real quick. You guys can continue this after the stream. I got to end the stream in like 5 minutes. Let's just wrap up like the Hakari versus Ryu point. I still stand by my my initial point. It's like pretty much no way you argue it. Any way you argue it, I mean, Hakari just slams Ryu. Like Culling Games, like my stance on it, Culling Games, Hakari is like bodying Ryu, and then end of Shinjuku, Hakari is like decimating him.
Lilos, I got one more question.
Can I say something on that point, Lilos?
Wait, who just said that? Who's that?
Let Anna go first.
Okay, yeah, and then let's let Anno go because he like tried to speak like an hour ago and like got cut off. Well, yeah, Anno, was there anything you wanted to say?
So, we agree that Ryu has the highest output in the Culling Games, right?
Wait, real quick, okay, yeah, sorry. Manic, yeah, you can go, and then Anno. Just like real quick.
We agree that Ryu has the highest output in the Culling Games, right?
Yeah, I think it's debatable, like, Sukuna might have more.
Alright, excluding Sukuna, you say he gets like a second, right?
Yeah, he has the highest output. Yeah.
And Kashimo is in the Culling games, yes.
Kashimo, yeah.
And do we believe that durability is scaled by your output?
I think it's a combination of output and capacity, and I think refinement also affects it.
Yeah, output capacity and like control.
I mean, yeah, sorry, not refinement. Whatever, like the control thing. I forget what it's called. It might be refinement.
Okay. So
Efficiency.
do you think Ryu is like just substantially weaker than Kashimo in those two other categories?
Ryu weaker than Kashimo. That's like, I'd have to think about that. That's like almost a different debate.
In all honesty.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, yeah,
It's a whole other debate in itself.
it's hard to say off the top of my head without like thinking about it. Like, honestly, you could make the argument Kashimo's just like better at everything, but I don't know if he is. I'd have to think about it.
I think that it wouldn't be a hard argument. At least give output to Ryu, right? Because it's just
Output, yeah. Output, yeah.
Output is good for sure. Like Kashimo's hacks are just busted. Like
No, for sure. But what I'm saying is, I'm trying to get like a durability scale right now.
Okay.
I mean, if I may, when it comes to
His hacks
JJK,
doesn't really affect his durability from what I can tell, like his percentage.
when it comes to JJK, I'm gonna be honest, hacks doesn't really apply because nobody really has anything that's
Let me
like.
finish my line of thought real quick, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, here, yeah. Finish your point and then let Anna go.
I'm just going to get the idea that they should either have equal durability or Ryu should be higher because he stated more output and we don't know the other things, so we can't really decide off of that, right? Hakari didn't really do any damage to Kashimo during like the entirety of the fight until Kashimo blew himself up and bottomed out his curse energy inside of the water, yes?
No, like Hakari was beating him up like when he was in Jackpot, and like Hakari was holding back at the start of the fight too.
Okay, but does Hakari deal like any fight-ending damage?
I mean, like, yeah, he wins the fight, yeah, but like before that, he is damaging it.
Does he deal that damage? Is what I'm asking.
I can look at
Because
it.
from what I remember, Kashimo blows himself up in the water and he runs out of curse energy, and that's why he can't fight anymore. He didn't lose the fight due to damage.
Manic is correct.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
So if that's the case, how is he gonna deal fight-ending damage to Ryu where he can't drop him into water and make him lose all his curse energy?
Because he scales up. Here, let me actually answer. Let me answer him. It's because he scales above Rika and Yuta, and Rika and Yuta were able to do like serious damage to him. So, like I was saying it earlier, like that.
They don't do serious damage.
No, they do. Rika punches.
Ryu takes damage is when he gets hit with his own granite blast.
No, Rika punches him in the head.
Actual like impactful damage.
No, every time Rika hits him, she does impactful damage. Every time she hits him, she does.
He's bleeding and stuffed up immediately after each time he gets hit by Rika.
I mean, fighting damage, right? He doesn't lose the fight because Rika punches him.
No,
he doesn't lose the fight because Yuta punches him. He loses the fight because he got hit with his granite blast.
No, what I'm saying is that punch. Like, you remember that scene where Rika punches him in the head and he's like bleeding a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If Hakari's stronger than that, then every time he's hitting him, it's going to do more than that.
This is my last question. I'm gonna end off after this, right? Do you think Culling Games Hakari? Because I don't know if he got stronger in the post game, so I'm not even gonna argue that. But do you think Culling Games Hakari is stronger than Domain Amped Yuta while he's fighting Sukuna?
Calling games Hakari. I don't know. That's hard to say. Maybe. I mean I have Culling Games Hakari like physically stronger than Rika and Yuta working together in Culling Games.
Okay, but do you have him? Well, why do you think you're arguing?
Because he says he is. Because he says he is.
Oh, you got it. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I say that because he says he is, and like that was like the whole first part of the stream. Like that's like the medium ball interpretation. That's me being nice to Yuta, honestly.
Saying, why do you think he's comparable? Like it's a question if he's comparable to Yuta while he's fighting Sukuna in his domain with the domain and after they train for a month.
You're saying why is it a question if? Sorry, who's comparing?
Like,
who are you comparing?
Why do you think like it's debatable for Hakari to be stronger than that Yuta in Culling Games?
Because I mean, it's just because he's stated to be stronger than the one in the Culling Games. So like I don't know like how much of an amp, if the amp's enough to surpass the difference that Hakari already had, if it's enough to surpass the advantage. All we know is that they're still relative.
I disagree because of the fact that we see that if he's stronger than Yuta and you think Yuta is able to do meaningful damage to Ryu,
I think he's stronger than
he
Yuta,
should
and
also been able to do meaningful damage to Kashimo based off the durability scale.
well, it would just mean Kashimo's more durable than Ryu.
Yeah, possible.
Kashimo is not more durable than Ryu. Like, Ryu reinforcement is one of the best. Sukuna even acknowledged that himself.
I was about to say that too. Like even
Sukuna knows that your reinforcement is one of the best.
But like, but Sukuna doesn't even fight base form.
Reinforcement is what I will say. Hakari reinforcement, like curse energy reinforcement, is better than Ryu because he has infinite curse energy. If you look at curse energy capacity being like a bucket of water, his curse energy is overfilling that bucket of water.
Well, hold on. Let's let Anno speak. Let's let Anno speak because he has not gotten to speak the whole time.
Yeah, let's let Anno finish his thing.
Yeah. So Anna, what did you want to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's nothing to say that Hakari wouldn't be able to damage Ryu. Like, people are acting like he needs to one-shot Ryu or something, or like he's gonna punch him and it's gonna tank off. Like, Ryu is made of steel and Hakari's a normal person. Nothing indicates that. And even if that did happen, that Ryu still can't ever win the fight. He's just gonna exhaust himself until he's weak enough that Hakari can beat him up.
Yeah, that's literally guaranteed. That's literally the guaranteed fact. Like, there's no way Ryu's gonna kill him because like Hakari.
He doesn't have enough to actually kill. If Arame can't kill Hakari, then Ryu's good. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, that's already trained for a month, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That month isn't making the real difference when it comes to somebody like Arame compared to somebody like.
What? Why does a month of training not make a difference when it made a difference for Sukuna?
But all right, guys, I gotta get going. You guys can keep debating in here though. I gotta get going.
This is a great series.
Thanks. Wait, what?
Just one question.
Yeah.
Yes, to answer your thought. How do you think Sukuna killed Kashimo?
He killed Mythical Beast Amber Kashimo, not base Kashimo.
No, I know. I don't care what. I was saying Kashimo in general.
Oh, he just like chopped him with a dismantle. Oh no, no, it was like a waffle dismantle.
Okay, thank you. You can go now. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, no worries. All right, see ya. All right, chat. That went on a long time. I have to get going though. That was a long debate, a long one. I said it would be 2 hours, like that was about exactly 2 hours. Yeah, that might be the last stream of the month. I don't know, I might do one more. Yeah, I mean, I still stand by my stance. Hakari is just like way more likely to beat Ryu. Like way more likely. Almost guaranteed. Like my stance on it is like Culling Games, Hakari is like mid to high diff beating Ryu. And then like Shinjuku Hakari is like mid diff at most beating Ryu. This is Yuta relative to Hakari debate. What really was a good one. True. True. Yeah, that did take up like the large portion of it. And yeah, and Restless sent me the lighting translation of this scene we were talking about with Gojo saying like Hakari and Yuta were relative. And the lighting translation, it says Gojo would only accept our intervention if he gets weaker than the likes of you or me, which is like pretty much exactly what Viz says. So I didn't hear any Yuta domain stuff. Before you go, I want to know that the jackpot itself is like, wait, hold on, what does it say? Before you go, I want to know that the jackpot itself is like 1 out of 129 something, right? Yeah, it's something weird, but like Hakari uses his skill to make it so it's pretty much guaranteed to happen. Like, even in, like, the most dire situations, he's able to make the jackpot happen. Like, he does it, like, after he's about to die against Kashimo. It's pretty much, it's, like, almost guaranteed he lands it. But yeah, I have Hakari over Ryu like for certain. I don't really see the argument for Ryu being able to beat this guy. I really don't. Especially when like we see Ryu's taking like serious damage from Rika, and Hakari and Jackpot likely scales even above that. And then if we're using Shinjuku Hakari, it's like, bro, like base form Shinjuku Hakari might be relative to Jackpot Hakari in the Culling games, and he's like the stuff that Rika's doing and like seriously damaging Ryu, Hakari might be capable of that in base. And then he puts Jackpot on top and it's just like frying Ryu. Like, oh, here's another thing I didn't mention. It doesn't really matter too much with Ryu, but like Hakari is like the king of domain clashes. If you domain clash with Hakari and then he hits a Jackpot, he most likely overwrites your domain. So it would be like, dude, it would be real bad because it's gonna be a nerfed Ryu against a full like Jackpot Hakari. He's gonna get beaten up bad, bro. I don't know. I think that was all pretty straightforward. One more time, I'll just like list my argument one more time just to like close out the stream. Basically, I was saying this. The Ryu that Yuta, like the Yuta that Ryu was going like extreme diff with and losing, it was nerfed Yuta. Ryu never fought the full power Yuta. He fought a Yuta who had lowered output, who was already tired and didn't have his sword, and lost to him. Okay, like, and then Hakari is stronger than full power Yuta with his sword. So like, yeah, Culling Games Hakari is going to beat Ryu up badly. Ryu just doesn't have a real likely win con at all. Even if you think like he would have an advantage, he's going to lose the battle of attrition. He's going to run out of cursed energy and Hakari won't. If Ryu tries domain expansion, he's pretty much fried himself. Because after his domain is used, Ryu can still use his curse technique, but he's still used a lot of cursed energy. He will be tired after a domain clash. Hakari will be at full power after a domain clash. Hakari's like the only guy who might not lose output like at all, because how fast he heals. There's a chance he doesn't lose output from damage because he heals like instantly. He's weird. Like, he might be the only one who might not lose output, and he's like the only guy other than Gojo who can use their domain multiple times in a day. Just Gojo, Sukuna, and Hakari. No one else can do that. Yuta can't do that. Well, Yuta can do it maybe twice. Like if he recharges with Rika, he could do it a second time. But like on his own, even with his cursed energy pool, Yuta can only do it once. But yeah, it's just like Culling Games Hakari using the medium ball interpretation is stronger than like the full power Yuta with Rika working together. He's stronger than that, so he's just bodying Ryu. And then end of Shinjuku, he gets even stronger. Like the argument of like Hakari having pillow punches, I don't really know where that comes from. That's just like magically assuming Kashimo's weak. I don't know where that comes from either. I genuinely don't. Like, I don't know where the argument comes from that, like, Kashimo has, like, weak cursed energy refinement. I'm not sure where that's all coming from. Or reinforcement, my bad, not refinement. I want to go back to the panel where Hakari was, like, beating him up. I want to see the damage that he's doing to him. Like, honestly, and this is a hot take, like, Kashimo's cursed energy reinforcement, like, he might be more durable than Ryu. He legit... Oh, and by the way, someone earlier was asking, like, how would Kashimo versus Ryu go? Like, Kashimo low diffs Ryu, actually. Like, genuinely low diffs him. If Kashimo's a terrible matchup for Ryu, if they're fighting each other, Kashimo kills him in, like, four punches. Like, he hits him 4 times, gets hit by the lightning sure hit, and just dies, bro. He would not need Mythical Beast Amber. I was looking for, there's a scene where, like, Hakari, like, gets stronger and just beats him up. I don't know what chapter that was on, though. Was this the first domain expansion he did? This fight, when it gets animated, it's going to be crazy. Kashimo. Yeah, I said you could make the argument that Kashimo's just more durable than Ryu. Like, why would that not be the case? He's tanking. Okay, let me put it to you like this. If you use the statement that Hakari is stronger than like a full power Yuta, and we see Hakari in Jackpot landing punches on Kashimo and he's like tanking them pretty well, think about it like this. Let me word it this way. If Hakari's stronger than Rika, that means Kashimo's taking punches that are stronger than the ones that had like Ryu bleeding. He's tanking those better than Ryu did. So that would be the argument for that. Like this punch right here, it should be stronger than like anything Rika lands on Ryu. Well, that's debatable. You could just say the last punch Rika did was like full strength Rika. But like Kashimo's tanking these punches. These are like stronger than what Rika's doing. And he's tanking these better than Ryu did. So that would be like the argument that like Kashimo's more durable than Ryu. But it's a debatable thing. I'm not sure if I really think so. But it's like he doesn't really have any durability anti-feats at all. The only person who like kills him is Heian Arasakuna, and he doesn't even fight base form Kashimo. He fights Mythical Beast Amber. I mean, do you guys have any counter arguments to that point? Like, what is your counter argument to say that Kashimo's durability is below Ryu's? Because just because his output's lower doesn't mean that his durability's lower. Like, there's people who think that Ryu has more output than Sukuna, but Sukuna's durability is like way higher. But yeah, it is an interesting idea. Like, maybe his durability actually would scale above Ryu's. That would be kind of crazy to think about. But I don't know if I really think that's the case. Charles was piecing up Hakari. Bro, like, in that fight, dude, Hakari said that he was, like, holding back the whole time. He was fighting him with his hands in his pockets. Here, we can go to the Charles Hakari fight. Hakari fought him with his hands in his pockets and, like, said that he was holding back. And Charles has precognition. You guys know that, right? Let's go. Let's read the Charles fight. Where was the Charles fight? Was it anyone remember the chapter number? I think it's like 183. No, it's not 183. And does anyone remember the Charles? Oh wait, did I get it right? Was it 183? Oh yeah. Okay, you guys said here, let's see. Wait, what did you guys say? You said that Charles was piecing him up. Is that what you said? Who said that? Oh, you said Hakari doesn't have good durability. Is Hakari in Jackpot here? And he's not. Okay, so a couple things. Like, Hakari's not even trying. This whole fight, like, Hakari's clearly, like, not trying at all. And then he goes Jackpot and one-shots him. So, like, you could just make the argument that, like, Hakari's not, like, he's genuinely not trying. And that's not even an argument. It's just shown to us, like. His hands are in his pockets for, like, half of the fight. Here, let me go back to this one before. Yeah, his hands are in his pockets like this whole fight. You see, like his hands are still in his pocket. He's not trying. Like, he's like playing around the whole fight, guys. So like, even if this dude hits Hakari, like he's clearly like not going all out. He might be using like 10% of his cursed energy reinforcement for all we know, man. So like saying that he can damage a Hakari who's not trying isn't like enough evidence to say Hakari has low durability. But alright guys, I do have to get going. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.